Hello children, welcome to iTTV. My name is Mr. Wong, your tutor. In today's lesson, we're going to read a story. We're going to read a story about the red car. Now, as we read the story, you're going to see a few words that are underlined. Pay attention to these words. We're going to talk about them later. Are you ready to read the story? Let's start. The red car. As long as I can remember, our family has always owned our red Proton Saga. Daddy said that he purchased the car before I was born. The car was very reliable, taking us from KL to Penang every year for Hari Raya. However, as the years went by, Daddy had to send the car to the workshop more and more frequently. Soon, the windows wouldn't wind down, the horn stopped honking, the air conditioning started only blowing hot air, and there were even times that the car just wouldn't start. One morning, Daddy was rushing off for an important meeting when the car refused to start. It tried its best to start, but all it managed was a weak stutter. There and then, it was decided that our red car had to go. Everyone was very sad to see our red saga get towed away. It was like bidding farewell to an old friend. Seeing it disappear down the road, we were reminded of all the good times we had spent with old Red. Though it was gone, it left us with many fond memories. Now, we have a new Proton Saga. Just like before, it's a red one. We look forward to making new memories with our new car. Did you enjoy the story? As we were going through the story, did you notice all the words that were underlined? Did you manage to write them all down? Now we are going to look at those words one by one to see what they mean. Are you ready? Now the first word is purchased. Daddy said that he purchased the car before I was born. Now what does the word purchased mean? The word purchased means to buy. Daddy said that he purchased the car before I was born means that Daddy said that he bought the car before I was born. Let's look at the second word. The car was very reliable. What does reliable mean? Reliable means someone or something you can depend on or count on. The car was very reliable, taking us from KL to Penang every year for Hari Raya. Now this tells us that the car was something you could count on to get you to places. Next we have the word frequently. What does frequently mean? The word frequently means very often. However, as the years went by, Daddy had to send the car to the workshop more and more frequently. So here, frequently means that Daddy had to send the car more and more often to the workshop. Word 4. It was like bidding farewell to an old friend. What does the word farewell mean? The word farewell means goodbye. So when it said, it was like bidding farewell to an old friend, what they meant to say was, it was like saying goodbye to an old friend. Finally, we have the word memories. The word memories means things we remember. Though it was gone, it left us with many fond memories. This means that though the car was no longer there, the author remembered a lot of good things about the car. Now that you have finished reading the story, get your exercise books ready. We're going to do comprehension questions. Now before we start, let's read the instructions. Based on the story, please choose the correct answer for the questions below. Question 1. What was the story about? A. Problems with old cars. B. Reliable cars. C. Getting a new car. Or D. Driving to Penang for Hari Raya. Question 2. From the passage, we know that A. If your car doesn't start, you should buy a new one. B. The author was happy to see the car go. C. The car began to give more problems as it got older. D. When the old car was taken away, Abu said goodbye to an old friend. Question 3. The word frequently can best be replaced with A. Often. B. Every day. C. Soon. D. Always. Question 4. Why was Abu sad when the old car was towed away? A. He didn't like the car. B. He was thinking of all the good memories he had with the car. C. The car's engine didn't start. D. He didn't know how to go back to Penang for Hari Raya. Now, question 5. Children, for question 5, there will be no answers for you to choose from. You will have to write what you think the answer is. Now, you will also be required to give a reason for your answer. Are you ready? Question 5. What color do you think Abu's father likes? Give your reason why you chose the color. Okay, children, now that we have gone through all the questions, let's see whether we got them correct. We will go through the questions one by one. Let's look at question 1. What was the story about? The answer is C. Getting a new car. Now the story tells us how Abu's family decided that they had to change their car, which was already very old. Question 2. From the passage, we know that, again, the answer is C. The car began to give more problems as it got older. Now, we can look at the story and see that Abu's father had to send the car more and more frequently to the workshop. Let's look at question 3. The word frequently can best be replaced with. Now, we discussed this already, and the answer is A. Often. The word frequently means very often. Question 4. Why was Abu sad when the old car was towed away? The answer here is B. He was thinking of all the good memories he had with the car. Now, Abu's family had owned that car for many years. They had gone to Penang many times for Hari Raya with that same car. As it left, he was reminded of all these things and he felt sad that he would no longer see the car. Let's move to question 5. What color do you think Abu's father likes? Give your reason why you chose the color. Now the answer to this is, I think Abu's father likes the color red because both the cars he owned were red in color. Okay children, now that we have finished our comprehension questions, we're going to move on to grammar. Today, we're going to learn about possessive adjectives. Now, what are possessive adjectives? Possessive adjectives are words used to talk about things that belong to people. Now, let me show you some examples of possessive adjectives. The possessive adjective of the personal pronoun I is my. You is your. He is his. She is her. They is their. And we is our. Now that we have gone through some examples of ways to use possessive adjectives, let's do an exercise. Before we start this exercise, let's read the instructions. Fill in the blanks with the correct possessive adjectives. Number 1. Cindy is very upset because blank. Exercise book is missing. Question 2. The big brown dog wagged blank tail when the woman gave it a bone. Question 3. You have to study hard if you want to do well in blank exams. Question 4. We go to the same school. Blank school is next to the post office. Question 5. I have a bicycle. Blank bicycle is blue in color. 6. Ali and Abu were late for school. Blank school bus had a punctured tire this morning. Question 7. John has a bicycle. He cycles blank bicycle to school. Okay, children, I hope you've got all your answers ready. Now let's go through the questions to see what the answers are. Question 1. Cindy is very upset because blank exercise book is missing. Now the answer here is her. So Cindy is a girl, so the possessive adjective we use would be her. Cindy is very upset because her exercise book is missing. Question 2. Now the big brown dog is an animal. For animals and things, we use the possessive adjective its. So the answer is the big brown dog wagged its tail when the woman gave it a bone. Question 3. You have to study hard if you want to do well in blank exams. The answer is your. Who are we talking about here? We are talking about you. So the right possessive adjective for you would be your. Question 4. We go to the same school, blank, school is next to the post office. The answer is our. So here, we talks about more than one person, and the right possessive adjective for we is our. Question 5. I have a bicycle, blank, bicycle is blue in color. The answer here is my. The possessive adjective for I is my. Question 6. Ali and Abu were late for school. Blank, school bus had a punctured tire this morning. The answer is their. So Ali and Abu, two people, the right possessive adjective here to use is their. Do you know what the meaning of punctured is? Now, punctured means when something has a hole. For example, if a balloon had a hole in it, it would be punctured. Now, also, if you filled the balloon with water and there was a hole in it, the balloon would also be punctured. Now, we can replace the word punctured with flat in this case. So we could say that the bus had a flat tire instead of a punctured tire. Now let's look at question 7. John has a bicycle. He cycles blank bicycle to school. The answer to question 7 is his. Now, what is the personal pronoun for the word John? The word John can be replaced by he. Now, what is the possessive adjective to the word he? The possessive adjective to the word he is his. John has a bicycle. He cycles his bicycle to school. Okay, children, I hope you enjoyed that exercise. Now, before we end today's lesson, let's write some sentences. Do you remember those 5 words that we talked about earlier on? Now, we're going to use those 5 words to form sentences. Now, let me give you some examples. Now, the first word is purchased. Now, purchase means to buy. Example 1. My family just purchased a new car. The second word is reliable. Reliable means someone or something you can depend on or count on. The example here is, the car is expensive, but it is very reliable. Now let's move on to the third word, frequently. Now, frequently means very often. I try to visit my grandmother as frequently as I can. Now let's move to word 4, farewell. The word farewell means goodbye. An example would be, Ali is moving to Johor. We are throwing him a farewell party. Finally, word 5, memories. Memories are things we remember. We have many fond memories of our holiday last year in Langkawi. Okay children, let's summarize what we did today. First, we read a story, and then we took some difficult words from the story and we looked at its meaning. After we understood these words, we did a comprehension exercise from that story. We also learned about possessive adjectives. Now remember to do the 5 sentences that I've asked you. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Till we meet again, study smart. Bye-bye.